Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome back to our show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here today with Jeff Ervick. And we're going to talk about his real estate journey, but also talk about private credit. Remember, guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business by providing tools and resources to build the business they want to build, which in turn helps them live that life that they've always dreamed of. Jeff, welcome to our show.
John, I appreciate having me, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. I'm super excited to talk about, using private credit and your journey, But before we get into all that, why don't you give our audience a little bit, of background on you, what your journey's been, what got you into real estate, and what got you here?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, So yeah, Jeff Ervick. I'm based out of Maryland. I've been in real estate since 2017. Actually, I even joke. Actually, it's probably even before that. My wife and I bought our first house in 2009, right after the crash. Right, so we bought a really good time.
Yeah.
And we fixed it up and we sold it, in a short amount of period of time, and then moved into a bigger one. So basically, we house hacked without even knowing we were house hacking.
I was gonna say that's the intro to house hacking.
Exactly. Yeah. Back, a long time ago, right? But ultimately, after that, I decided to, really, I got into real estate investment back in 2017. I met up a couple buddies. We went to a couple meetups, learning about how to invest in real estate here and locally in the Maryland area. I bought a couple rental properties. I fixed and flipped a few rental properties, and I still own a handful of those rental properties as well. I also have short-term rentals, and I also got into private lending, right? Which is kind of what speared me into this private credit we all want to talk about here soon. But private lending was more for residential real estate. But that's my real estate journey. My background is I'm actually in tech sales. I'm a W-2 employee. I still work in a full-time job while I do real estate. So my biggest journey now is telling people, you don't have to quit your job to be an investor in real estate, right? You can invest in real estate and work a W-2 job. In fact, I promote that because I want people to be able to use their W-2 job as their fuel in their investor journey, right? Hey, there you go, right? That's a good little tagline for you guys.
Yeah, there you love it.
Yeah, but ultimately, yeah. So I've been in tech sales for just over 20 years. I've only worked for 2 different companies my entire life. I'm a very loyal guy when it comes to that, and I'm also loyal to my customers, right? So building relationship to me is key, and I think that kind of it carries forward big into the real estate side. So I cover all investor relations for our company, and then being able to do that. So again, I'm married. I got 3 kids, beautiful wife, and I love coaching baseball, and big car guy too. So there you go. Right.
Oh, awesome. Right on. Okay. Yeah. So being in Maryland, so what are you, a Boston fan?
No, not even close. No, I grew up in New Jersey, so I'm actually a Mets fan.
Oh, Mets fan.
Okay. Yep, I'm a Mets and Giants fan, but proximity wise, I'm also an Orioles and Ravens fan too.
Yeah, that's right. Baltimore. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. So let's kind of go back a little bit, right? So you bought this first house and you did a little house hack. Did you have prior to that any type of influence, any type of, anybody in your life that was in real estate that did flips or anything like that? Or is just this something that you and your wife just said, hey, let's flip this house and start moving on?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, back then, no, I didn't have anybody that I knew that was in real estate. I've always loved, back in the day, watching the HGTV shows and those kind of things, right? So that's probably what kind of steered my interest in it. But for some reason, I've always just had this knack for love of real estate. So that's when we bought that first townhouse. We did that, and then we bought another single family home. And then at that time, I moved up to Maryland. That was in Virginia, and at that time, I moved up to Maryland. So we've been here for a little over 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you did this house hack, right? And then you start getting into real estate, and you're still working a full-time W-2. What were some of the challenges that you've came across, when working your W-2, trying to start this part of your life or part of your journey?
Yeah, I mean, so to talk about that very open and honestly too is that when I first got into real estate, I was buying single family rental properties, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was going to the auctions in person. I was, raising my hand up to buy the auctions right in front of the property or in front of the courthouse. Mm-hmm. And then once I got the property, then I'd have to go hire a property manager or hire a construction team. Manage the rehab process, be up there for inspections and so forth. And, it got to be a lot that that it was tough to be able to manage, that flipping or that rehab BRRRR business, so to speak, right, in the single family world. Yeah. And with my W-2 job. So I kind of had to take a step back and think, hey, what else can I do to be able to earn passive income in real estate, right? Well, so I had a friend of mine who taught me about private lending, right? So I ended up getting a self-directed IRA. This is back in 2018, and started lending my IRA out to other real estate investors, and I was earning a really good 12% return on that, 10% return. And that was easy. I was like, oh, that makes sense. I can do that, and it's tax-free. Why not?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my the start of that, and as I kind of moved into looking to scale certain real estate portfolios, I realized that also I can't do it in a single family realm. Now, not to say that single family investing is a bad way, because you can make good cash flow, you can make good equity, you can make good appreciation with the properties, and you have to scale up to 20, 30, 40, 50 properties in order to be able to really make good cash flow on it, right? And I didn't have the time to be able to do that.
Right.
So I started investigating into, how can I scale bigger and better and faster? And that's, where I found multifamily real estate investments.
Okay. So, yeah. And what type of mindset or what type of mindset shift did you have to have when going up in an asset class?
Yeah, I think a lot of people get caught in the it's too big for me, right? I can't do this, right? It's how can I go ahead and buy a $10 million property? Where am I going to be able to find that kind of money or capital, or how am I going to be able to do this? And they kind of have a limiting belief mindset, right?
Yes.
When I was kind of in the opposite, I said, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes to find the way to get into that opportunity, because I want to be that person that goes out and buys that apartment complex, right? I want to be a part of that, right? And the way I did that is I joined a mastermind program similar to what you guys have, right? In Investor Fuel. And I learned that it's not necessarily an individual sport. Like single family renting or single family rentals is an individual sport, right?
Right.
You do it yourself, right? It's your portfolio. It's you. You might have a partner, maybe one, but that usually minimizes the amount of cash flow. If you make $250 cash flow on one property, you guys each take $125. okay, that's cool, right?
Right.
And, when I found.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
The multifamily world, right? Buying an apartment complex, I realized it's a team sport. Like there's not just one person that has to do this. You've got a team of about 10 or 15 people, right, who can handle different aspects of that business, right, for you and with you. And I don't have to be on site at the properties every single day. I'm still I'm passively investing in our own deals because I want to build my own portfolio. And that's another reason why I got into it, is that what can I do to scale my own portfolio and make multiple different streams of income while I'm still working a W-2 job? So I even wrote a book about that. I've got an ebook on my webpage about that too. But yes,
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And why was it important for you when going up into this new class to join a mastermind, to be around those like-minded people? Because with so much information out there nowadays, people can learn it on their own. Why was it important for you to join a mastermind or a group?
Yeah, so you're right. You can go on YouTube, you can watch a whole bunch of videos of how to do this and what to expect, right, in getting into that. But I think the most important thing is the network, right? Whenever you join a program, a mastermind, a group, or anything, it's that network, right? It's being around like-minded individuals, right, who all see that there is no limiting belief to what you can do, right? You can really, the sky's the limit if you put your mind to it, right? And you've got that positive mentality of, I'm going to do this, right? This is going to be my, they call the bags, right? The big, audacious, hairy goals, right?
Yep.
So I'm in that kind of same mindset where I need to find a group of people, right, that think this way, so I can up my game better and be a part of that team, right? And that's exactly what I did. I actually didn't even watch one single video, right, on how to buy an apartment complex. That was, for me, I joined the program like join a country club, right? You join a country club because you want to be around different people and network, and you want to perfect your golf game, right? So did the same thing. I joined a network, right, to meet different people in the network and also perfect my real estate game. And that's exactly what I did.
Smart. Well, and they say your network is your net worth, right? And it's 100% true. So as far as the technical aspects of it, the underwriting, the deal finding, and all those specific things, what challenges were there versus your single family type of underwriting, marketing type of thing? What challenges were there for you, if any?
Yeah, sure. There are definitely challenges, right? Because, how do you underwrite a $150, $10 million property that is in Florida when you live in Maryland and you don't even know how to, you haven't done it before, right? So, yes. So again, part of that network, right, that I specifically went to go find are people who are like me, right, have the same mindset, the same skill set, or not same skill set, same mindset, same ability to that want to grow, the same opportunities like that, but have a different skill set, right? That's what
Got it.
Right, they have different skill sets. So I found my partners in there, and one of my key partners, Claudio Sanchez, right? He is a master when it comes down to underwriting, acquisitions, and everything in the business realm of it, right?
Awesome.
But when you go down to it and you look at, the underwriting, right? It's a lot you need to learn, right? And so I think I've become a pretty decent, very professional underwriter at my own game, because I've been through it so many times, and now I see okay, hey, you need to know the market very well that you're trying to invest in, right? And you need to know financial brokers, you need to know insurance brokers, you need to know property managers, you need to know construction teams. You need to know all these specifics about that market in order to make sure your numbers in your underwriting match, what is reality and what's going to happen. And also, everyone says they do conservative underwriting, but you've seen some people who are still putting a 5 cap rate on an exit in 2 years in a tertiary market, which is just not good, right?
Not going to work. Well, I mean, and it sounds like you've had some great success. So tell me what your business looks like now.
Yeah, sure. So
if you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
So we cut our teeth on value add, right? And that is still going to be the core of our business moving forward, no matter what. We have a bunch of heavy value add in our property, and we realized, we're probably looking towards scaling it into more of like a medium light value add properties, right? So a little bit newer age, in the 2000s versus in the 60s and 70s,
right,
and 80s, right? So that's kind of where we started. We also do ground up development, right? So we're also building some Class A buildings down in St. Petersburg, Florida. We got 3 lots down there that are cumulative 374 units in Class A space down there, which I'm very excited about. And then we also own 72 acres out in San Antonio, Texas as well, too, that we're going to be developing 815 units.
Awesome.
We also own a bunch of other apartment complexes in the Southeast and Midwest, right? And then transversely, we also own some industrial properties, right? We had our first exit. We sold an industrial property just about a month ago and returned excellent returns back to our investors and moved there. So that's where we are now.
Okay.
What we're doing now in the future, right, is we kind of looked at the writing on the wall. We said, hey, listen, a lot of these properties are excellent because they're good equity. If you want equity and you want to be able to earn 20, 25, 30% IARs, you should probably invest in value-add businesses, right?
Right.
We've seen it as where they're also not cash flowing. A lot of investors today in today's market also want to have some type of cash flow opportunity. So we've developed a private credit fund. All right. Now, private credit fund is just that. It's like I mentioned earlier. I've done private lending my entire career.
Right.
I'm now that's residential. We're doing private lending our private credit fund is private lending towards multifamily businesses. Right. So we look for specific Class A properties, right, that are cash flowing currently, meeting their debt service, right, not in trouble or not behind on interest payments for their debt service, able to refinance or have a refinance in process, and have some strategy to be able to reduce expenses while not needing to increase rents, right, which is basically like a tax abatement program or reducing the insurance costs or something like that.
Okay.
So we target those properties. Our fund invests in that. We get written into the contract, right? So we have a contract with that property. We're sitting in a position that's subordinate to the senior debt, right? So we're right in between the senior debt and the equity portion, right? So we're in a monthly distribution, right? With the resident. Rent comes in and pays the senior debt. We also get paid out as well. And then we also accrue an interest for the back end, right? So we're able to produce up to 14% returns for our investors and pay cash distributions month 1 after they invest in the fund.
Awesome. How are you finding these properties? Are you using commercial brokers? How do you find these properties because if it's got good cash flow, right, and the owner's in a good position, why would they want to sell?
Well, they're not selling. They're restructuring their debt.
Or restructuring it. Okay.
Yeah, so they have because a lot of these properties were purchased in between 20 and 22, right? And 2020, 2022, right? So they've got debt that is kind of spiraled, right? And got them into a position where they're not really able to pay investor returns right now. So they have to do something in order to be able to pay their current investors, right? So what we need to do is we need to restructure the debt, right? So we come in and we help them restructure the debt. Our team comes a part of the partnership of the property as well too. So we have a very good opportunity to sit there, understand the property, understand the returns, understand the operations of it. And that's where, again, my business partner, who's really good at what he does, probably be able to help provide different business measures or different business opportunities to pull different levers, right, and make sure
Right.
that we're getting the returns that we should get, and we're operating it properly as efficiently as possible. We use a lot of different technology, different AI models, right, for building out property management, building out leasing opportunities, building out this. But we're not the property managers. We just basically make sure they do their job very well, right?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Can anybody invest with you guys, or do you have to be accredited?
It's accredited investors only. Yep.
Okay.
So we do have that limitation. So unfortunately, we cannot accept sophisticated investors.
Got it. Okay. Tell me a little bit more about private credit. Let's talk a little bit more about that. I mean, just for folks maybe that are on here that don't know, what is it?
Yeah, sure. So private credit is a private loan, right, that's offered to a business, right, that needs a little bit of additional capital, all right, and doesn't necessarily or can't get that from their senior debt, right? So usually there's a senior loan chunk that is let's call it like 65% of an LTV, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll come in at that 5% above, so maybe right at a threshold of 70%. We're not going to go really above 70% loan to value.
Mm-hmm.
That's just part of our underwriting, part of our way we vet the sponsors of the deals. So we're kind of like added in that mezzanine spot, right?
Got it.
And that's the private credit. And so our goal, right, for every one of our deals or every one of our properties in our fund is we're written into the operating agreement that we will get paid in succession to the senior debt, but before any equity or pref equity even gets paid, right?
Got it.
It's important to know that as well too. But yeah,
Right, okay.
Ultimately, think of a hard money loan, right, to a residential property.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a private loan to a commercial property.
Commercial property. What kind of trends are you seeing in the commercial world right now?
There's we're seeing good deals that are especially in the newer vintages, right? We're seeing deals that are not really in the position to cash flow, right? And they're struggling to meet that service. And really, I think it's about the operator themselves, right? Because if the operator is not managing the property or managing the property manager correctly, then you're going to see them get into kind of situations where they're not able to meet the debt service, or they're not getting the occupancy where they should be, or they're just putting people in place just to get the occupancy up when really it's not a cash flow position. So,
Right.
So that's always been what I see in the market right now. And then also on the value add side, it's been tough. It's been tough to find and make deals pencil, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even this market and investors are kind of weary right now, right? I mean, I'd be too, right? If I just lost a bunch of my 401k, right, and it's been all over the place. I try to, again, I'm heavily invested in the stock market also, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a real estate person that tells you pull all your money out of the stock market.
Right.
I'm very much a diversified portfolio, right, and that's what I love about it, right? Is I've got stock market, I got some bonds, I got a bunch of cash in accounts, and I've got private credit. I still do private lending. I'm actually an investor in a private lending and a hard money lending fund.
Okay.
And then I do all commercial real estate, and I do my own so I'm able to kind of hedge my portfolio as these market swings happen. And I think that's why we said, we need to create this private credit fund to help other people hedge the market swings and the market trends by providing a current pay and providing that in a monthly distribution, right? So think about it. Instead of putting your money into a savings account or even going into a property directly, right? If you can provide something that produces a monthly return, right, and then you take that monthly return and you use that to go either fund your kids' 529s, or you use that to go fund your whole life insurance policy, or you use that to go fund your pay for your car payment or something like that, right? That's where you should put money in a place first that works well, and then able to take on some of your debt or help you pay help you make just extra cash flow too.
Yeah, got it. Cool. What do you attribute to, or what key things do you attribute your success to?
Yeah, I would say it's passion, right? Perseverance. And I think the biggest one is authenticity, right? If you're not authentic in what you do, people will see through that and read through it. I'm the same person today on a podcast as I am if I meet you on the golf course, if I meet you at the beach, if I meet you at a conference, if I meet you for coffee. I mean, if I, as I'm hanging out with my family and friends, like I'm the same person every day, all day long, right? And my customers, my clients, even my for my W-2 business, same thing. Like, if I'm not authentic and I'm not trustworthy, then nobody's going to want to do business with me, right? So
100%.
As first and foremost, we have to be trustworthy. Secondly, we have to be authentic. So it's a whole homage of, know, like, and trust. To that big triangle, right? So if you know the person, and you like the person, and you trust the person, then that's really what's going to make you successful, right?
And you'll do business with that type of person for sure. So for anybody that might be wanting to get into real estate, whether if it's just basic single family, maybe it's someone who is, have been experienced in single family, they want to make a jump up in asset class. What kind of advice would you give there? What type of resources would you recommend?
Yeah, I guess it depends on how to start, right? And if you're trying to get into, if you want to own a rental property, that's what you want to do. Like, and I tell people all day long, if you want to own a rental property, go buy a rental property, right? But you have to find a good deal, and it's hard to find good deals, right? So you got to work with your wholesalers, local wholesalers. You got to work with your hard money lenders to be able to buy. I never buy a property with your own cash. Always buy it with some other people's money, right? And that way you can keep that as your reserves if you need to, right? But I think you should be going after certain resources of that asset that you want to get into, right? So whether it's single family, or whether it's a short-term rental, or whether it's a multifamily thing, wholesaling, right? I mean, there are programs and there are people out there who are experts in all those fields, and I think that's the best thing. Now, I love helping other people as well too. I love adding value to people, right? So
awesome.
My calendar is always open. I have a link out there on our website that says if you want to go talk to Jeff and ask him questions and just meet him and have a conversation, click the link and you can schedule a calendar and we'll have a Zoom call and we'll have an introduction. And even I found excellent partners that way too. I've had people that have, clicked on that link that I had.
Well, and since we're on that topic.
It's always some. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, since we're on that topic, how do people that are listening to this get a hold of you? If they want to talk about your journey, maybe they have questions on how to get started or however it might be. I mean, how do they reach out?
Yeah. The best way to reach out is either our website, right? So it's ValorisCapitalPartners.com. It's VALORIS capitalpartners.com. Go to the About Me page and you can find a way to contact me directly. And I'm very active on LinkedIn as well too. Right. So,
awesome.
So LinkedIn.com/Jeff, I think it's Jeff-Ervick, right? ERVICK, are the two best ways to get a hold of me.
Okay, cool. And we have the contact information that you had sent over to us, so we'll put that in the show notes. Jeff, man, I appreciate you coming on and sharing all this. And, guys, I hope those listening out there kind of picked up of some very good nuggets, right? Find people that are where you want to go, and talk with them and build those relationships. Be authentic and be yourself. Jeff, thank you again. Folks, I hope you had a great show. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Awesome. Thanks, John.
Cheers.
I appreciate your time.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.